The Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912. Over 1,500 people died. It's been sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean for over 110 years. So why hasn't anyone just raised it? I mean, we have the technology, right? We've built space stations. We've landed on the moon. We've drilled through mountains. So why is a sunken ship still sitting 3,800 meters underwater untouched? The answer is more complicated and more fascinating than you think. First, let's talk about where the Titanic actually is. It's sitting at the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean, 3,800 meters down. That's 12,500 feet, nearly 4 kilometers of freezing black water above it. To put that in perspective, Mount Everest is 8,800 meters tall. The Titanic is sitting at almost half that depth, underwater, in complete darkness, at near freezing temperatures. The pressure down there is 380 times greater than at the surface. A human without protection would be crushed instantly. Okay, so it's deep. But we have submarines, right? Yes. And we've visited the Titanic many times. The first expedition reached it in 1985. Since then, dozens of missions have gone down to explore and document it. But visiting is very different from raising. Here's the first problem. The Titanic is in 2 pieces. When it sank, it broke apart. The bow and stern are separated by about 800 meters of debris field. You're not raising one ship. You'd be raising 2 massive broken pieces plus thousands of scattered fragments. The bow alone is 170 meters long and weighs tens of thousands of tons. Waterlogged, buried partially in sediment, structurally compromised after 110 years of decay. Second problem, the Titanic is falling apart. Bacteria called rusticles are eating the iron hull. Scientists estimate the Titanic could completely collapse within 20 to 30 years. It's literally dissolving as we speak. Third problem, cost. The most serious proposal to raise the Titanic was estimated at $200 billion. That's more than the GDP of many countries. Nobody wants to pay that. But wait, what about private companies, billionaires? Someone could fund it, right? Here's the legal problem. The Titanic is protected by international law. The RMS Titanic Maritime Memorial Act and international agreements treat it as a maritime grave. Over 1,500 people died there. Their remains and belongings are legally protected. It's not just a ship, it's a grave site, and you don't dig up grave sites. But let's say someone ignored all of that. Let's say a billionaire decided to just do it anyway. What would actually happen if you tried to raise it? The moment the Titanic hits oxygen and light after 110 years underwater, it would begin deteriorating at an extreme rate. The metal would rust and crumble almost immediately when exposed to air. Everything inside, the furniture, the fabric, the wooden decks, would turn to dust within hours of being exposed to surface conditions. You'd spend $200 billion to watch it fall apart on the surface. There have been creative proposals, though. One idea was to fill the ship with liquid nitrogen to freeze it solid, then float it up. Another idea was to attach 180 billion ping pong balls to lift it. Yes, someone actually proposed ping pong balls. It was first suggested in a Donald Duck comic in 1949, and engineers later said, it would actually work mathematically, just completely impractical. So what is being done? Instead of raising it, scientists and companies are focused on documenting everything before it disappears. Full 3D scans of the entire wreck have been created. Every artifact that can be safely recovered has been brought to the surface. Over 5,500 artifacts are preserved in museums around the world. Dishes, jewelry, letters, shoes, personal items from people who were on board that night. The Titanic itself, the actual ship, will stay on the ocean floor forever. as a memorial to the people who lost their lives. And maybe that's exactly where it should be. If this made you think, subscribe. New video every week. See you next time.